Chapter 12: The Greatest Obstacle to Happiness, and How to Overcome It. Our life is about a string of moments in time. So often we stand in our unhappiness trying to improve a future moment. The problem is that this moment is where we are creating what we call our future. Most people are looking toward a future time for pleasure and a feeling of satisfaction, but very few experience it in the now. Yet now is the only time that exists. What you are being, living, thinking, and feeling in the present moment will determine your happiness. It also determines how much time you will spend on worrying about the future. Your point of power. Think of your present moment as your point of power, because it is the only point where you can exercise your full power. For most of us, the present moment exists only as mental concept. If there is such a place where all the creative forces of the universe come together, how do we know it is the present moment? What evidence is there that this is true? Consider this. All your hopes for the future, and even your memories of the past, can happen only in the present moment. The present moment is that one point where everything comes together. When does life start? When does it end? When do cause and effect take place? When is it that we meet every challenge? When are problems born, and when are they resolved? When do we feel pain? When are we healed? This all happens in the present moment. We have been taught that those moments are separate from each other, but in truth, they all take place in the now. No matter what happens in life, it is always now, then now, always in the present moment. Nothing exists outside of the now. Nothing ever happened in the past. It happened in the now. Nothing will ever happen in the future. It will happen in the now. When you think of the past, it is stored in the mind as a former now. And when you think about the past, when do you do it? You do it now. When the future comes, it comes in the now. And when you think about the future, when do you do it? You do it now. The past and the future have no realities of their own. Their realities are borrowed from the now. The insanity of future time ideologies such as communism, socialism, or any other type of ism, as well as rigid religious belief systems, operate from the assumption that the highest good for all lies in the future, when happiness, fulfillment, equality, liberation, etc. will be attained. Often, the means of getting there involves enslavement, torture and murder of the people in the present, to create a better future. For example, under the rule of communism, 50 million people were murdered in Russia and China, to bring about a better world. This is a chilling example of how a belief in the future can create a present hell. How does this pattern operate in your life? Are you always trying to get somewhere other than where you are so that you can finally be happy? The truth is that all unhappiness is caused by denial of the present. We think our problems and unhappiness are caused by our situations in life, but attachment to the past and future and denial of the now is the real problem. Ultimately then, there is only one problem in life: not living in the now. You cannot be unhappy and fully present now. It is impossible to have a problem when your attention is in the now. When you live in the now, you either deal with the situation or accept it now. Whenever you have a problem, it means you are dwelling on a situation without having a true intention or possibility of taking action now. Answers come in the now. Perhaps you are seeking answers to your questions or problems. Notice that sometimes you receive your answer, but most of the time you don't. Why? Because you are not in the present moment when the answer arrives. Anytime your mind is out of the present moment, you cannot receive the answer you need from higher intelligence. The answer can come in many ways, and at any time, but it will always come in the present moment. If we spend most of our time regretting and living in the past, or worrying about the future, we place ourselves out of the present moment, where all creativity and answers take place. Does it make any sense at all to desire, request, learn and pray for that which is closest to your heart and necessary to your life, and then not be paying attention when the answer arrives? Our point of power can only exist in the present moment. We create from this moment, whether the materialization appears instantly or later as a complex event. However, all creation takes place in the now. If we really understand this truth, we will have an inexhaustible supply of usable energy at our command. It is only our thoughts, attitudes and emotions in the moment that have power. It is not what happened to us in the past that keeps us from living a successful and happy life in the present. It is how tightly we hold on to that past, by reliving its trauma and drama in our present moment. When we constantly worry and re-examine the past in order to discover what is wrong with the present, we reinforce the same thought process that will create exactly that which we are trying to escape. Vibrational energy of the now. Understand that in every moment you are sending out a vibrational energy through your thoughts. This vibrational energy is magnetizing and attracting everything to you. If you send out a vibrational energy that you don't have what you want, you will end up with more of the same having what you don't want. If this is true, and it is, then what could be more advantageous than using this moment to send out a vibrational energy or thought that is in alignment with what you want in your life? The answer is nothing is more important. I am talking about the power of focus. Ask yourself, am I activating what I want in this moment, or am I focusing on something that isn't allow me to have what I want? Energy is tied into desire. Anything that feels opposite to that energy or desire creates a situation that prevents us from having what we desire. Why we have trouble living in the now? Why does the mind habitually resist the now? It is because the mind cannot remain in control in the present moment. It only knows about your past personal history and the cumulative mindset you inherited. In order for the mind to remain in control, it must continuously seek to cover up the present moment with the only thing it knows, the past. Let me ask you a question: can you be free of your mind whenever you want to? Do you know how to turn it off in the present moment? If you're constantly focusing on the past or future, you are not in control of your mind. You are not using your mind. Your mind is using you. More than likely, you don't even know that you are its slave. It is like being possessed without knowing it. Watching the thinker. If you find it difficult to live in the now, try this. Take a moment and just observe the habitual tendency of your mind wanting to escape the now. You will observe that the future usually looks better or worse than the present. If your imagined future looks better, it gives you hope, pleasure and anticipation. If it looks worse, it creates more anxiety. Yet, both are illusions. When doing this, don't judge or analyze what you observe. Just watch your thought, feel the emotion, observe your reaction, become the silent watcher. This will help you to focus on the moment. When you're conscious that you are not present, something interesting happens. You are present. The origin of fear. The reason you don't jump off a cliff is not because of fear. It is because you know there is an immediate impending danger when you hit the bottom. However, the psychological condition of fear is divorced from any true and immediate danger. It comes in many forms and is worry, anxiety, nervousness, dread, phobia, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of being hurt, and so on. This kind of psychological fear is always about something that might happen, not something that is happening now. Freedom from problems. When you create problems, you create pain. If you are tired of living in pain, all it takes is a single choice, a simple decision, that no matter what happens you will not longer create pain by trying to live in the future or the past. Let me ask you a couple of questions. Are you worried most of the time? Do you have many what-if thoughts about the future? If your answer is yes, ask yourself what problem you have right now, not tomorrow, not 5 minutes from now, but right now. You will find that you don't have any problems in the present moment. All your problems are about the future. Are you waiting to start living? How much of your life do you spend waiting for the next holiday, a better job, your child to grow up, success, to make money, be important, and become enlightened? Waiting is a state of mind. Basically it means you want the future. You want the present. There is an inner conflict between your here and now, where you don't want to be, and your projected future, where you want to be. The keys to break the pattern of present moment denial and present moment resistance. We must learn to withdraw our attention from the past and future whenever they are not needed. Should a situation arise that you need to deal with now, your actions will be clear and decisive if they arise out of present moment awareness. Your response will not be a reaction coming from the past conditioning of your mind, but from an intuitive present moment awareness of the situation. Goal setting in the now. Throughout this book we have talked about goal setting. It is important to understand that there is nothing wrong with striving to improve your life situation. The mistake is using future goals as a substitute for living in the now. Life is a journey. While you are on this journey, It is helpful to know where you are going. But don't you forget, the only thing that is ultimately real about your journey is the steps you are taking in the present moment. Your inner and outer purpose. Your journey has an outer purpose and an inner purpose. The outer purpose is to arrive at your goal or destination, to accomplish what you desire, to achieve what you want.